Well, hello folks. Sam Owens here, and we've got a ceiling fan, and this is a really nice three-bladed ceiling fan with remote control and all of the features and a nice LED. I mean, that is some LEDs right there. That's the light module, and here's what we get with the kit. I've taken everything out and unwrapped it. You're going to get a list of all the materials that I'm showing right here. And then the installation is going to start right here, step number 1. And that's what we're going to look at, is mounting this first. Okay folks, this is where my old fan lived, and it has a mounting plate. I found that these two screw holes are too close together. They will not line up with the new, so I can't use the old mounting screws. I'm going to have to use the two long wood screws. Now, I've already seen that where they have two screws mounting the box, there's a rafter going across here, a 2x4. And so now I can go right on the other side through this and line it up like that and drill right up into there and on the other side. Before I do that, this is a pretty good size screw. I'm going to take a 5/16 drill bit and put a pilot hole up to make it a lot easier. 5/16 will make it easy to install. And drill me a hole through there, and I'm in line, and I should feel the wood. And now I'll come out. Yeah, that's wood. There's wood. Okay. Now I'm going to put this one up there just so I can line up with the other one good. Okay, and you should turn the electricity off when you are working there, and screw it in. And I could use my drill, and I'm not going to make you watch this. And right there. That's good right there. Okay, that should do it. I got it. Take my screwdriver and get her tight. And now I'm going to go tighter. You want this tight where it won't wobble. Okay, notice I've taken two of these little foam donuts and taken the centerpiece out, and it makes a great place to assemble the fan blades to the fan and without it rocking around. So that'll be good there. We've got the 3 blades here, and step number 2, fan blade installation. And one of the things you'll need to do is decide, do you want dark to be down or light colored? I want the dark down. Okay, the first step is to go in here and take 3 screws out of each place that the blade is going to mount through these slots. There's a slot here, and I'm going to put this one in, and you line it up. So now my dark is going to be facing down, which is the way I want, and you line these up with those 3 screw holes, and you might want to use your little hand screwdriver until you get these in. And that blade goes at an angle, so you want to look at that. And you don't want to tighten them up tight, just loose. I see no matter which way you put it, it's going to want to come down until we get more screws in there. And you just feel around until you get that hole. I'm only going to put 1 on, and then the rest I'm going to go ahead and do and come back. I found something new. When you get this in, stick the middle screw in, pull it back and line it up with that screw with your screwdriver in there, and you can just guide it right in the hole and just put it in loosely, and then it'll be easier to twist and get the other screws in. All right, this is part of step 2. It tells you to loosen all 3 of these, but I know later they're going to put a cover over it, so we got to take them all the way out. I don't know why it tells you to use a electric drill, but we're going to do it. Okay, there's the 3. Now we'll go to the next step. Okay, this is the LED board, and this is the position it's supposed to be mounted. If you turn it upside down, your screws will not match up, so it's got to be like this. And there's a couple with a slot in them. A couple of holes that have slots. Okay, now you take your little LED panel, and these are magnets on the back side. They're going to just stick. It's not going to actually screw down. Put this up through here and pull this. First, pull this through like this up here, and then line these 2 up, and then make your connection. That's what they meant to do. Okay, so that's what they're showing. And you just kind of slide it around until you can get these 2 lined up and move them around and get that little, oh, it's on the other side. Look at it carefully and just twist them around and line them up. Okay, once they get lined up, then they're easy. They should snap in, and this should hold it, and then you can just let those be up there like that, and you just let that sit there. Step number 4, going from there to here, and we've got to select which down tube, if you want a long 18-inch, 10-inch, or 5-inch. Okay, this is that pin that they're talking about, and here's a little pin catch, like that right there. And then you pull this out, just like they're saying, and I'm going to put this back in so we don't lose it. Just like that is the way it's supposed to go and stay. So I'm going to put this down to the side, and then it tells us in section 3 of step 4, it tells us to loosen these screws right here. All right, step 3 of 4, step 4, is to loosen these screws on the motor. Just loosen them up. All right, we're going to go to the next step, which is step 4 of 4. Assemble the canopy cover, and coupling cover to the down rod in turn. And they're showing a photo, so I want it going just like this onto the down rod that I've selected. So I'm going to put that together and show you. Now folks, this is what it'll look like when you finish. And this, if you see magnets sticking down, you've got this little collar in the wrong position. It should be, the magnet should go up against this, and that's what holds this in place. And that's the way it's supposed to look when you get through, just like that. And then it's going to look like this, and we're going to go the next step and put that pin in with this. Okay, so I just take this and just kind of put them together like this, and they should just go right up through there. And just push them. That is good. And you're going to pull them down, and then you're going to line up the hole here with the hole there, and we're going to take the pin, just put this over, pull this out, and I'm going to stick it right on there, and then I'm going to line it up, and this time I'm going to put this here and pull. Oh, these screws right here need to be out a little bit more. And there's another one over here. They're in too far and they're stopping it from going in. It didn't really tell me to loosen those, but I see that I have to. Those are gonna, there. Okay. So don't take them all the way out. Just go out far enough. There, see? It drops down. So both of those need to be loosened. And then you'll be able to take the pin. I'm going to put it in from this side. And you just twist it around and lift it. You may have to lift it up, and then it's got to go through the wires and guide through to the other side. And let me get my big head there. And see, it's got kind of a bevel point, so it'll guide itself through the wires with a little pushing. Okay, now find the little hole and push this in just to the first little catch. And now everything, when you pull up on there, there it is. I just saw a mistake in the instructions. They instructed me to loosen the motor screws, the 3 motor screws. But when you do that and you put this in here, you cannot tighten them up. So that is incorrect. They must have meant to loosen the set screws where I was having trouble getting it in. So keep that in mind when it tells you to loosen these motor screws. There is no reason why you need to loosen these. One important thing that wasn't pointed out in the instructions is to have these screws right here loosened up good, so that when you get the cover on, you can twist it and it will lock in there. That's what's going to hold the cover up tight when you screw these up. The instructions did not say anything. There's a groove right here that has to fit into a groove in the back. So you got to turn this around to where it's well, you can just twist it. Okay, now I put this, drop this down like that all the way, and then lift this up and twist until it drops into that groove. There, it just went in. Okay, now notice how with that other device, the remote, I wound these wires around to store them up there. I found it's too hard to get them down and below. So now I'm going to put this in like this, and it's going to go just like this, with this part up and this curve down. And I'm going to push these in through the back, line them up, and then I'm going to shove this right in there. If it'll go in there, yeah. Okay. There. And it's a nice tight fit, but it doesn't have to move around. And now, with all of those wires wrapped around, even the ground wire, I put it around the back, and I can get to it right there. And now I have access to my little clips. This is going to match up with the other one, and I'm going to clip this now, and they only go one way. There, snaps, and then the blue and white, the blue, and it also connects in a one way, and this, the little lobes line up, and it's pretty easy. Now we've got the unit wired up, and now all we have to do is hook up the power leads for the remote to the power leads coming down. I put this on because it was still hot. Now I'm going to turn it off in a moment after I get the ground, the common connected. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of push this around and bend it back so that this will be up toward the top. Then I'm going to wrap this like this. Okay. Put a wire nut on it. And you may have to strip them a little bit if you find that they're too short. Okay, and then kind of bend those in there like that. I'm going to wire up the hot lead. Okay, get a wire nut on it. Okay, and I found that this is the best way to do this, is to put those up in there in the top. And then also I need the ground, which is, there's two ground. Let's see, right here and right here. So I'm going to go around this and connect these two together. I'm going to pull it around and get these two together. Actually, it's three grounds. That's that little mount and the unit itself. And I put a wire nut on. Okay, now push those up underneath there. And now I'm going to have to just kind of take these, twist them into a cable like, and pop them through the little ground there so that I can just kind of let it hold them up, because they got down underneath. That might work. Okay. So now put these in and push them. And make sure your little antenna gets in there all the way around. Yeah. Okay, pull this down. Okay, now. There's one. Okay, there's one, but I gotta get the other one. There! Okay, and there's the ground. I need to push him up in there a little bit. Oh, it doesn't have to, because there's a cover. Now, I gotta tighten those a little bit. Let me see, I gotta do it from a... Actually, I push it over a little bit, yeah. Yeah. Okay, perfect. And then you slide this little magnetic collar up, and that's what it does. Voila. Okay, now we've got her wired up and there. Looks good. Okay, folks, there's the fan completed and the cover is on it. And with my remote control, I'm holding it up. I can turn the light on and off there, and then back on, and it goes to the same level. But if you do it quickly, it will change temperature. See, lower, higher, and color, lower temperature. Okay, now to turn it off, and then if I turn it back on, it's at the high level. Now, if I want to change it from forward to reverse, here's a reverse button. And It was going forward, now it's going to stop and reverse for the winter time when you want the air to go up. You've got your speeds. I can put it on 4 and it'll go up to level 4. And you also have 1 hour run time, 2 hours, or 4 hours that you can push these and the fan will shut off. So it's really a great fan, and I think that we're going to enjoy it. So to turn everything off, let's see, all off is this right here. And the fan and the light go off. A little bit of time and you'll have this down pat. Folks, you saw the installation. There's a couple of areas I had to modify the procedure a little bit, but I think I showed you the correct way that you could put this in and have the least amount of difficulty. So I want to thank you very much for watching my videos.